to Barcelona and actually what happened on the pitch, this wasn't to script, was it? Going out and playing so well as they did in that opening 45 minutes to beat Villarreal, who obviously were poor at the back, but still, you have to go out there and given all the pressure, this was pretty much the perfect start for Ronald Koeman.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it was a very good start. I think the fact that Ansu Fati played such a key part in it, of course, scoring the first 2 goals and winning the penalty that enabled Lionel Messi to score the third, I think is very important because there has been a very keen sense that what they need to do, Barcelona, is rejuvenate the squad, is to have, I mean, at first, of course, we were talking about a revolution. Now, that revolution has not been completed yet. I suspect it won't by the end of the transfer window, but let's see. But one thing was for sure, they needed dynamism, they needed a sense of enthusiasm, they needed a sense of something new, and no one brings you that better than Ansu Fati, even though he's actually been around for a year. And I must admit, that was the thing that most struck me, was the other day looking at him score those 2 goals and thinking, he's still 17. I mean, he's been around for a year, which tells you how absurdly young he was when he broke through at the beginning of last season. And it's true that last season kind of evened out a little bit, that some of that early enthusiasm and excitement was gone, but that's to be expected, someone of that age. At this age, he scored more goals than Messi had when he too was 17, and so I think it's legitimate to be incredibly excited about him. And as you say, that's very important for Koeman because it's about making sure that it works and you get results. It's a shift in formation, it's also a shift in personnel, although not as much of a shift in personnel as he would like. And I think in that sense it was a very, very positive debut. I think there are 1 or 2 question marks though, which is that while Barcelona played very well, we didn't yet see very much from Antoine Griezmann, of course, who's been moved into a new position. And, of course, the player that we're going to be watching all year and trying to see glimpses of his attitude, not just his performance, but how happy he is, was Lionel Messi. And while Messi scored, this wasn't a performance, of course, in which Messi dominated.
Yeah, what have people been saying about that, Sid? Because there's a lot of time dedicated, I imagine, a lot of cameras were just on him for the whole 90 minutes, breaking down every single movement, be it with the ball or with his face.
Yeah, and of course it sort of depends on which side you're on. So we've seen reports suggesting, look, Messi smiles again. Well, you know, immediately after someone scored, it would be pretty bizarre if there was no smile at all. We've seen others look at him more broadly and look at his body language over the 90 minutes and say we saw very little enthusiasm from him. We saw very little sense that he really wants to lead this on. I think even the fact that Ansu played so well has been held against Messi, which I don't think it should be. But it has been, as if to say, well, you know, Ansu scored twice and Messi only got 1 and it was a penalty. And by the way, a penalty that he could have given to Ansu to give him a hat-trick and he didn't. A penalty which, frankly, was very badly taken. You know, he was very fortunate to get under the body of Asenjo. So that's all been bundled into this analysis of Messi. And one thing I would pick up on, and I personally think this is very good news, and some people will perhaps think that because I'm picking up on it, I'm looking for flaws. I think this is a good thing. But you look at that first Ansu Fati goal, that was the classic Jordi Alba run and cut back to Messi. Messi's coming towards the ball, Ansu gets there first, says thanks very much and smashes it in the top of the net. And to be honest with you, I think Barcelona needed that.
Transitionally, what does that mean, Sid? Like, for example, could Messi leave in January?
Look, I'm never going to say never, but I don't see... I don't... At this stage, I don't see a scenario in which that helps anyone. I guess, look, we will see over the next 2 or 3 months how Messi feels, whether he is in a position when he thinks, I just want to get out now. Bear in mind that a huge amount has to happen between now and January, not just in terms of what happens on the pitch, but more importantly, what happens off the pitch. There's a motion of no confidence in the current president. There will be presidential elections. He could well be gone. He's a big part of the reason why Messi is unhappy, although I think we shouldn't look at it as being purely about him. And so I think there is so much that could change that I think it's probably premature. But I think it's worth posing that question, but I think it's premature to come up with any kind of answer.
So it's the first time we've had you on since those comments when Luis Suarez made that move to Atletico Madrid. You mentioned it before, Lionel Messi, once again damning the Barcelona board and the way in which the club is run. When I saw that, part of me thought, what's the point? What are you doing now? How is this helping anything? Yeah. I understand you're making a statement, but you did the interview. Everybody knows how you feel. You are at Barcelona for 1 more season. You're one of the greatest players that we've ever seen. You want to win things. This isn't helping, is it? These sort of posts aren't helping anyone.
No, I mean, I must admit that there is a bit of me that felt similarly about this. And actually, you know what? There's a part of me that felt that this wasn't the right thing to do from the point of view of Luis Suarez as well. Now, obviously, look, Lionel Messi knows Luis Suarez a hell of a lot better than any of us do. He knows much better than any of us do about whether or not Suarez would have welcomed this particular comment. But bear in mind that Suarez's own departure, he even says at one point, I'm not going to allow this to be, to be about anything else. I'm going, I want this to be positive. And he dealt with it in a way that said, right, okay, I want to enjoy the fact that I'm going, I want to go in the right way. And then it was Messi who kind of had that little dig as well, when perhaps he didn't need to, not just because of Barcelona, but also because of Luis Suarez. That said, I think Messi would argue, and I think Messi's defenders would argue, and I must admit, I could see their point if they did, that having a dig at Bartomeu doesn't actually damage the team at all. And I suspect that part of what Ronald Koeman will be trying to do, carefully, of course, because he's in a very delicate position himself, but I think part of what he'll be trying to do will be saying to the players, right, we look for common ground amongst ourselves. Forget the club, forget the president, forget the politics. This is about going on the pitch and winning. And that is what we want to do, no matter what other consequences it has, no matter what everyone else wants out there, no matter how angry you are or how bitter you feel about things in terms of the kind of political structure of the club. That doesn't matter, because do you want to win? Right, let's go out there and try and win.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.